Welcome back to another inform review, and today we're looking at Mertesacker of Arsenal. I got him in this nice little basic squad here, and of course the people are going to be thinking, why on earth are you reviewing Mertesacker? Because as you can see right now, he has 35 pace, 40 dribbling, 42 shooting, 88 defending, 59 passing and 78 heading, 3-star weak foot, and he stands at a monster 6'6". Now I'm going to start off originally here just by saying he is an absolute tank. If we look at his game stats here, 95 heading actually, 91 marking, you know, shot power is decent, slide tackle of 80, standing tackle of 93, which is amazing, 90 interceptions, 73 aggression, and this is where it sort of falters a little bit, but at the same time you get positives. Reactions, strength, brilliant. Agility, aggression, balance, you know, it's just a pain. They do get in the way and it's painful, but I'm going to start off praising him. As I just said, standing tackles and slide tackles are brilliant. 93 standing tackle, as well as his 93 strength, make him an absolute tank. If you run into him, you are getting annihilated. His slide tackle of only 80 is woefully low, but in game it is amazing. He does every animation right, as you'll see. He does slide tackle where he wraps his leg around you, he does the slide tackle where he's just straight into you, and again with his strength he just smashes you out of the way. Now the one negative, well, there's a couple, but the first negative we're going to start off with is his inability to have any agility or balance. If you miss the first tackle, you are in trouble, but the way to, you know, deal with this is you make him the aggressor. You go with him, you charge at the player with him, and you use your other centre back to cover him behind, and eliminating any issues with his pace at all. Now of course there is times where people just run straight past him, and if you miss the tackle you're in trouble, but that's down to you more than it is the player. So I'm not using the pace as an excuse, but what I'm going to say is the negatives for me were his agility, his jumping, and his defensive positioning. For me, he couldn't defend crosses because he was never in the box. I don't know if it just meant he didn't have the pace to get back in there or what it was, but he just wasn't in the box defensively enough for me, and it was a bit of a disappointment. But as you'll see here, he's got 35 pace and he manages to cover half the width of the field there and get the tackling, so pace is not an issue. A big strength is his strength. I mean, look at that. Throws Danny Sturridge out of the way. He throws anybody out of the way. Mandzukic here, look at that, he manhandles Mandzukic. That doesn't happen. So that is a massive pro. His other pros of course are his strength, his tackling, standing and sliding, and for me his ability to hold a line. I've never said that with anyone before, as well as his interceptions, so to say, but his ability to hold a line is brilliant. So many offsides. I've never had a team where I get so many offsides against the opponent, and it's just amazing to see. Now I'm awful at heading, as you'll see as the final 3 clips in about a minute or so, so you know, they're just there for you to see what his heading's like. But for me his jumping wasn't good enough. I know he's 6'6", he doesn't really have to leap, but his jumping for me was just woeful, and that was one of the big problems I had. I only scored 1 goal with him, I missed an absolute sitter, but just getting him locked on was one of my main issues. Now overall I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. His agility and his balance, as well as his jumping, just cost him for me. I could live with his pace because, as I said, I could use another player to cover him behind him. That was never an issue. As I said, I don't want to use it as an issue, but that is that. So you'll see the 3 clips or 4 clips now of his heading, and that's the end of the review, guys. So if you like what you're seeing, give me a like, give me a comment, of course, of any suggestions, and don't forget to sub. And if you want to see anybody else get a review, just let me know in the comment section below. And of course, as always, I'll see you next time.